Hello everyone, my name is Adisha and today we are going to speed run solving quadratics using factorization. Let's get right into the topic and let's not waste any time because I know you don't got a lot of time before your exams, same as me, but I'm here to help. So stay here, pay close attention and make notes if you want to. So grab a ball of popcorn or grab a notebook and a pencil. It's your choice. Anyhow, let's get started. So quadratics are basically equations of the type x squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0, or you can take out the minus 0 and that would still be a quadratic, except you wouldn't be able to solve it, obviously. Or they can also come in ax squared plus bx plus c in the Edexcel higher curriculum. As an Edexcel student, I only know about my curriculum, but it depends on your curriculum. But it's best to learn what the higher curriculum is teaching so that you will be prepared even if you go down to foundation curriculum. God forbid that happens to anyone. I know. Anyhow, so we have this kind of equation and we want this to be solved with quadratic factorization. Now you might say, oh Adisha, you can just take this and move it over to the 10th side. But no, instead of the actual answer, you would just get x equals 10 divided by 3x minus 13, which you cannot solve. It's quite obvious. You can't solve this. You can't divide a number or value or constant, any constant in fact, by an unknown variable or a set of unknown variables in fact. So we're going to ignore this and we're going to move on with solving this. So x times 3x is equal to 3x squared. X times minus 13 is equal to minus 13x squared. And bringing the 10 over to this side, we can get minus 10 is equal to 0. So we have this equation and we want to factorize it. Now there are two very important rules to figure out. Now factorization goes like this. We have x plus p times x plus q, and there are two very important rules. P plus q has to equal b, in this case the b here, and p times q has to equal c, as you can see here. Alright? Now p times q has to equal c, so in this case c is minus 10. Be careful of the signs, okay? The sign to the left of a number in algebra is that number's sign, and this will help you solve many questions without issue. Alright? So let's draw the factor tree for minus 10. Minus 10's factor tree is minus 1 and 10, minus 10 and 1, minus 2 and 5, and minus 5 and 2. Now we are going to draw some factors here. Okay, so we have this setup. This entire setup is your baseline. So what are we going to do here? We want some coefficient to come here so that these two x's will multiply to form 3x squared. As I showed you before, x times 3x is equal to 3x squared. So we will put 3 on one of these. That's going to be pretty easy, isn't it? Now what do we want now? What do we want to do now? We want to fulfill these rules over here. You can see them. P plus q is equal to b, p times q is equal to c. We want those rules to be fulfilled and we want those rules to be satisfied, in other words. So let's get right to it. We are going to erase this blank and move this x over here because of course there is no coefficient for this x because this is being multiplied by 1, and in algebra if something is multiplied by 1 there is no coefficient. You don't add a coefficient to it. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to use this factor tree and pick out the ones that seem most appropriate. Now we want this to add up to minus 13x. Now of course we can see that either minus 1 and 10 or minus 10 and 1 are going to overshoot the target. So those two are out. And the only two we have left are minus 2 and 5 and minus 5 and 2. So let's write one down. So minus 2 and plus 5. So let's do some factorization. 3x times x, write it with me. 3x squared. 3x plus 5 plus 15x. Minus 2 times x, minus 2x. And over here, we can see that this does not work for minus 13x. It does not work because instead of minus 13x, we're going to get plus 13x, which is not what we want at all. So instead of that, what we are going to do is we will erase this, or in your notebooks, you can cross it out or just write a subtitle there saying this is incorrect. You do not want this. And instead of that, we are going to swap the signs because that is the only other possibility we have. That is the only other possibility we have left. Minus 5 and 2. So we are going to write plus 2 and minus 5, and let's do some factorization. Say it with me, students. So 3x times x, 3x squared. 3x times minus 5 minus 15x. 3 plus 2 plus x plus 2x, and minus 15x plus 2x is equal to, would you look at that, minus 13x, which is our goal. We have done it, people. We have actually done it. We have made the right equation, and now we are about to solve it. Oops. So we are about to solve this equation finally, and do some practice on this because you will get used to it. It's pretty tricky handling these kinds of equations, but I know you all are smart people. You all can handle it. So up next, we have solving the equations. Now there is a theory which states that if we have AB is equal to 0, then either one of these has to be equal to 0. Either A is equal to 0 or B is equal to 0, or even both can be equal to 0. But we know that one cannot be equal to 0. Both cannot be equal to 0. That implies that 3x plus 2 and x minus 5 are equal, which of course they can't be. So let's do this and let us solve this equation finally. So we have either one of these can be equal to 0. Either one is equal to 0. So let's take 3x plus 2 is equal to 0. Let's say that that is equal to 0. We will call this x1. Okay? We will call this x1. So we want 3x plus 2 to be equal to 0. So 3x will be equal to minus 2. So then we have x1 equal to minus 2 divided by 3. Alright, so that is x1. And now we are going to solve for x2, which is x minus 5 is equal to 0. So x2 is equal to 5 or plus 5, depending on how you write it. You can write the sign. You don't have to write the sign, but you can do it anyway. And there you have it, folks. This is how to solve a quadratic equation by factorization. Rewatch the video if you want, slow my voice down, slow the video down, but make sure that you understand the video. Watch it as many times as you want to understand this. So, and thank you for watching. This is Adisha signing off, and I hope you subscribe and see you in the board exams. Bye.